Listen to me closely. You are deep in the wilderness. The rain isn't stopping. It's been pouring for 6 hours straight. The canopy above you is dripping, the ground is a swamp, and your clothes are soaked through to the skin. You are shivering. That shivering is your body's last line of defense. When that stops, you don't have days to live. You have exactly 3 hours. That is the survival rule of 3. In 3 hours, hypothermia will rob you of your fine motor skills. Your hands will turn into useless claws. You won't be able to unzip your pack, let alone strike a lighter. Most people die in this scenario with a pocket full of dry matches. Why? Because they tried to fight physics with luck. They didn't understand that water is a heat thief. It steals body heat 25 times faster than air. If you try to build a standard campfire today, you will fail, and you will become a statistic. Welcome to Primal Methods. Today, we are not relying on hope. We are relying on thermodynamics. I'm going to show you exactly how to cheat the rain, bypass the moisture, and ignite a fire when the entire world is trying to extinguish it. Method 1. Surgical extraction, the inside-out protocol. The biggest mistake amateurs make is scavenging from the ground. They grab dead branches, pile them up, and waste their lighter fluid. Stop doing that. In a storm, every stick on the ground is a wet sponge. The wood has rotted, losing its density, and the cellular structure is full of water. The U.S. Air Force Survival Manual teaches a concept you must memorize. Moisture penetrates from the outside in. Look at a standing tree. Even if the bark is soaking wet, the physics of the tree protects the core. To access dry fuel, you need to perform surgery. This is the Batoning Technique. Step 1. The selection. Find standing deadwood, a tree that has died but hasn't fallen. Gravity has drained the sap and water downwards. Saw off a section about the thickness of your wrist. Step 2. The split. Do not try to burn the round log. Take your heavy survival knife. Place it across the top grain. Use a heavy stick, your baton, to hammer the knife through the log. Split it into quarters. Step 3. The harvest. Look at the wood in the absolute center. That is the heartwood. The outer layers acted like a biological raincoat, sacrificing themselves to keep this core bone dry. This is your gold mine. Step 4. The processing. Discard the wet bark. Discard the outer damp rings. Take that dry heartwood and shave it into feather sticks. Thin, curly shavings that increase surface area. Fire loves surface area. You are essentially building a fire from the inside out, using the heartwood as your seed. You are manufacturing dry lumber in a wet forest. PRO tip: if the wood feels cold to your cheek, it's wet. If it feels warm or neutral, it's dry. Use your face, not your hands, to test moisture. Method 2. The hydrocarbon switch. Harvesting fatwood. In fair weather, you use dry grass or dead leaves, but in 100% humidity, those biological materials act like a sponge. They absorb moisture from the air instantly, plus cellulose, plant fiber, requires about 450 degrees Celsius to combust. That is a massive thermal barrier when it's raining. You need to switch fuel sources. You need to switch from cellulose to hydrocarbons. You need resin. Resin is nature's napalm. It is waterproof, burns hotter than wood, and catches a spark instantly. We call this wood fatwood. How to find it? Find a dead pine tree. Look for the joints where old branches connect to the trunk. When a tree is injured, it pumps resin to the wound to seal it. When the tree dies, the wood rots, but that resin hardens and preserves the joint forever. The extraction. Cut into that knot. You are looking for wood that is deep amber or dark red. It should smell intensely of turpentine or pine sol. That smell is the smell of survival. Why it works. Fatwood is 100% waterproof. You can submerge a piece of fatwood in a river for an hour, take it out, wipe it on your pants, and it will light immediately. The technique: do not burn the block. Use the spine of your knife, or the blade at a 90-degree angle, to scrape the fatwood into a pile of fine orange dust. This dust is so volatile that a single spark from a ferro rod will ignite it into a roaring flame, even if rain is falling directly on it. Method 3. The one survival hack, the chemical cheat. This is the item mentioned in the title. It costs less than $1, but in a hypothermic emergency, it is worth more than gold. Bushcraft purists will tell you to use natural materials, but at Primal Methods, we believe in staying alive, not satisfying an ego. Trying to start a friction fire in 90% humidity is a calorie-wasting suicide mission. You will sweat, your sweat will cool you down, and you will accelerate hypothermia. The solution: cotton balls soaked in petrolatum, Vaseline. You must carry this in your kit. Here is the science. Cotton provides thousands of microfibers, creating massive surface area for oxygen. Petrolatum is a petroleum byproduct. It is hydrophobic, repels water, and acts as a long-burning fuel. The application: you can pull a Vaseline-soaked cotton ball out of a puddle. It looks wet, but tear it open to expose the dry fibers inside and hit it with a spark. Boom! Instant flame. Here is the critical difference. A match burns for 10 seconds. Dry grass burns for 20 seconds. A treated cotton ball burns violently for 3 to 5 minutes. That 5-minute window is the bridge between life and death. It provides a sustained, high-temperature flame, hot enough to dry out the damp twigs you place on top of it. It buys you time. Don't be a hero. Be a chemist. Method 4. The thermodynamic engine, the rock tunnel. Now you have a flame. How do you keep it alive when the wind is howling and the rain is sideways? An open campfire is a failure because wind steals the convection heat. You need to build an engine. We call this the rock tunnel. The setup: find flat stones, build a U-shaped wall about 6 to 8 inches high, opening towards the wind. Place a large flat rock or a slab of thick wet bark on top as a roof. The physics: you are building an oven, not a campfire. Shielding: the roof protects your fragile heartwood flame from the falling rain. Thermal reflection: the stone walls absorb the heat and radiate it back into the center core. This pre-dries the wet wood you place inside before it even touches the flame. The Venturi effect: by funneling the wind into the U-shape, you force oxygen through the coals at high velocity. This creates a jet engine effect, concentrating thermal energy to burn wet wood that would normally extinguish an open fire. Warning: do not use porous rocks found directly in riverbeds. The water trapped inside them can boil and cause the rocks to explode like grenades when heated. Use dry rocks from higher ground. Conclusion: stay primal. The forest doesn't care about your expensive gear. It doesn't care about your enthusiasm. It operates on the laws of physics. Cold kills, water steals heat. To survive, you must be smarter than the environment. Use the inside-out method to find dry heartwood. Harvest fatwood for high-octane fuel. Carry the chemical cheat to guarantee ignition, and build a rock tunnel to protect your investment. The amateur sits under a tree hoping the rain stops. The master of Primal Methods makes their own heat. Stop relying on luck. Start using physics. Stay dry. Stay alive. This is Primal Methods, signing off.